What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen, today I am here to give you guys my full card predictions for UFC 320 happening this weekend. I cannot wait for these fights. We will be ignoring our family and friends to watch this entire card. Obviously, I'm very excited for this main event between Big Ank and Alex Pereira in the rematch. Hey, one more thing, you guys. Marab is going to be fighting in the co-main against Corey Nerdhagen. Yuri Prochazka, let's go for that. Khalil, Josh Emmett's on the card versus Yusuf Zalalio, whatever the guy's name is. Yusuf Bilal, whatever the guy's name is. Big Salty Joe Pyfer, Officer Pyfer's on the card. Atiba Gautier, maybe he's on the card, maybe not. Patchy Mix, I mean, people forget, man. Patchy Mix is a marauder. And the rest are nobodies. But hey, man, let's get into this. Starting off on the early prelims. First fight of the night, we've got Veronica. Oh, my days, Veronica Hardy. Oh, my days. She's an absolute sniper at range. This is Brogan Walker. I'm going to pick Veronica Hardy to win this fight. She's not 37 years old. Brogan Walker's tough, dude. I feel like Brogan Walker could low-key win this by split decision. You never know with WMMA. I feel like there's going to be a physicality advantage there, a little bit of a reach advantage. But I think Veronica Hardy's going to have a speed advantage on the feet. And if you're getting TKO'd by fucking the TikTok chick, I forget her name, Luana Santos. If you're getting TKO'd by Juliana Miller, and who's a Luana Santos victim, I'm pretty sure Veronica Hardy's going to be able to beat you by some sort of Dan Hardy war room game plan. That's my prediction. I'll say that Veronica Hardy wins by decision 30-27, okay? Next fight of the night, we've got Ramiz Brahimaj versus Austin Vanderford. Believe it or not, I've been fence-sitting this prediction. I've genuinely been watching tape, kind of going back and forth on who to pick between Ramiz Brahimaj and Austin Vanderford, because my brain, and I'm going to pick Austin Vanderford by decision. I do think that he's going to win this fight with his grappling, because he is a very good wrestler. I mean, he's fought at middleweight before. He was a pretty high-level fighter in Bellator. He has good wins over like Fabian Edwards and a couple of other jobbers in Bellator that were somewhat, high ranking near the belt. I would say somewhat high level competition. Ramiz Brahimaj, he's kind of beating the lowest bottom of the barrel welterweights in the UFC. He's on a good run right now, though. Like, he's coming off a pretty brutal submission win over Billy Ray Goff. I do rate that win pretty well. Same with the knockout of Mickey Gall. But I'm going to pick Austin Vanderford to win this fight by decision just based on his wrestling and his control time. I think that if you're Ramiz Brahimaj and you got smudged pretty fucking badly by Temba Garimbo, like, you got dominated. In the words of Jamal Hill, you got dominated by Temba Garimbo. I don't like to see that at all on your resume. I do think that Brahimaj is a lot more dangerous than Nikolai Veretennikov, who we'll talk about soon. Austin Vanderford beat him in his debut on short notice. This is going to be him going all the way down to 170. And I do think that that's a little bit of a factor to consider, because Austin Vanderford is a little bit chinny. Like, his striking is not that good. He's kind of got that blockhead. You know when you go to the gym and the guy's like a gnarly fucking grappler, and you ask him if they used to train MMA, and they said, oh yeah, I did a little bit of kickboxing here and there, aka they look like fucking, they're from UFC 1993 on the feet, but their grappling is crazy. That's like Austin Vanderford, dude. Like, his chin is a little bit sus. I've seen him get dropped by jabs. Like, Gegard Mousasi put him out with a fucking jab. His striking's a little bit sus, his chin's a little bit sus, but his grappling is very good. So I think that Ramiz Brahimaj will do well on the feet, maybe rock him on the feet at some point, maybe hurt him. But then Austin Vanderford's going to chain together those takedowns. He's got really good timing on his double legs. And once he's on top, he has very good control. He has good submission attempts, good ground and pound. We saw that in the Veretennikov fight. So I think that that's going to happen in this fight. I think either, early on, Brahimaj kind of rocks him, and then Vanderford has to lock in and win round 2 and 3, or vice versa. Austin Vanderford's winning round 1 and 2, gets rocked in round 3, has a little bit of a scary moment, slows down a little bit. Brahimaj almost hurts him, loses a 29-28 decision. I'm going to say Vanderford does get this one done with his grappling, but like I said, I think a factor that's very underrated to consider is the fact that he's coming all the way down to welterweight now. Like, he used to fight at middleweight. He took a little bit of time off. He came back at short notice at 175 in his debut in the UFC. So we'll see if the weight cut affects him. But if not, I think his grappling will be a big factor. He's going to have a size and a strength advantage here. And his grappling is actually pretty good. So we'll say Austin Vanderford out grapples Ramiz Brahimaj to win that fight by 29-28 decision. Next fight of the night, we've got Punahele Soriano versus Nikolai Veretennikov. There's something about this guy that I just don't fucking like, dude. And I don't know what it is about Veretennikov. Something about this guy just pisses me off. So I'm going to pick Punahele Soriano. I actually think Soriano is pretty decent at welterweight. I mean, his debut, at welterweight, he fought Miguel Baeza. People fucking forget, man. Miguel Baeza was a problem. Miguel Baeza was an up-and-coming prospect. I was glazing the fuck out of Miguel Baeza. Dare I say, Miguel Baeza was Michael Morales before Michael Morales came along. I think I'm gonna be that guy and say that for the casuals that don't know about fucking Chocolate Thunder or whatever the guy's name was. But Soriano beat him 30-25, dude. Soriano has big power, and one thing that I think is gonna be a winning formula in this matchup against Veretennikov, who has 0 fight IQ, is fighting fucking a little blockhead midget, Francisco Prado, in his last fight. Jumping guillotines, spinning back kicks, giving up his back. Arguably could have lost that fight on the scorecards. I think he did enough to win that fight based on the damage. He's a primary striker. He has literally no wrestling whatsoever, dude. He literally cannot wrestle off his fucking back. He got out fucking grappled by Danny Barlow, dude. This guy is he's a pretty dangerous striker. He relies a lot on his physicality to get back up, and I think against Soriano, he's not going to be able to do that like he did against Prado. I think in this matchup, you are going to see Punahele Soriano whip out all reliable the fucking Brad Tavares, Dan Ige, Extreme Couture, NPC takedown defense. There's nothing like a fucking NPC out of Extreme Couture. You know the training partners you bring in UFC 5? Soriano is one of those NPCs you bring in at Extreme Couture that can stuff a takedown like nobody's business. He can post on his best skill in the game is posting on the head. And maybe a nice little jab, a nice right hand to follow up behind it. I think he has a power advantage. I think he can mix in the wrestling if he needs to. I think he can defend takedowns if he rocks Veretennikov. And I think that he's going to out-damage Veretennikov, out-scramble him, push the pace, maybe slow down a little bit at the end of the fight. But I think Soriano is going to win this fight by decision, 30-27, making better decisions, mixing things up better, being more technical, more powerful, a little bit bigger and stronger. I think he has all the tools needed to win this fight by 30-27 decision. Maybe he gets a knockout. That would be pretty good, but I'm going to play it safe and say we get a 30-27 decision here from Soriano, okay? Next fight of the night, we've got BICKS versus Jakub Vicllock, okay? I'm going to pick BICKS to win this fight. I know that no human has ever said that since the Mario Batista fight. I know that I am like the first, I'm fucking patient zero of the BICKS gaslight of like, hold on, dude, maybe you can win this one. Okay, I don't care. I'm going to pick BICKS to win this fight. I'm going to say he wins by submission, okay? This is how I see this fight going. I think that BICKS is going to get pieced up with the hands. I think that Vicllock is very, very quick and kind of, snappy on the feet. I think he's going to piece him up with the hands. But I think that BICKS is going to land his inside calf kicks. I think he's going to land, some knees up the middle, at least threaten them a little bit and make Vicllock a little bit uncomfortable on the feet. And I think he's going to, do his classic jab, lead hook again and again and again, flash the knee up the middle, flash the straight left, get kind of pieced up, and then Vicllock, because he is a primary grappler, he has like 10 submissions on his record. He's coming off a pretty nasty guillotine win in his last fight against a guy that he fought like 7 fucking times. I think that if he tries to grapple, which I think he will, he does get a little bit scrappy in these fights. Like, he's very quick on the feet. He has good straight punches. He has good front kicks. And then he clinches up and he mixes in takedowns after he's done striking. And in these exchanges, he does get kind of wild and kind of sloppy. Like, he will throw bad spinning back kicks. He will just run in with his head down. And I think that BICKS, yes, he is a fucking robot on the feet. Yes, he's the Tin Man on the feet. But he's got good inside calf kicks, which I think can off-balance Vicllock and maybe set up a front headlock. He has good knees up the middle, to counter those takedowns. He's going to be a little bit more composed, a little bit more patient. He's a little bit older, a little bit more experienced. He's fought 5 rounds against pretty high-level UFC, borderline UFC level competition in the PFL and in Bellator. You can't really say the same for Jakub. So I'm going to say that Batista is not that bad of a loss, and he exploited the fact that Patchy Mix has no head movement and didn't have to wrestle with him at all. I don't think that's going to be the case in this matchup. I think that Vicllock is going to piece up Patchy Mix, get hit with the calf kicks, maybe get, flashed a knee up the middle or something like that, start pressuring too aggressively, get a little bit sloppy, and I think he's going to get caught in a guillotine, chasing a takedown. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that it's going to be early on, he's doing good on the feet, then he mixes in the clinch, maybe he gets a takedown, the crowd's like, holy shit, Rogan's, this kid's a superstar, the kid's only 29 years old, he's taking down Patchy Mix. I think that he's going to eventually make a mistake doing that, and Patchy Mix's entire game, his striking is shit, but it's, to lure you into the grappling. In the jiu-jitsu and in the wrestling, Patchy Mix is actually fucking good, okay? His jiu-jitsu is actually really fucking good, especially his front headlock. His guillotine is nasty. Even off his back, he does a good job of getting back up or working submissions, triangles, arm bars, shit like that. I think there will be grappling exchanges in this fight, and I think Patchy Mix will win those exchanges. So I'm going to say that, like I said, Vicllock wins on the feet, starts to piece him up a little bit. I don't think he has this huge pop in his hands that, he's going to really sting Patchy Mix a lot and kind of freeze him up like Mario Batista was able to, because Mario Batista is so quick and just so active on the feet. I think it's going to be a little bit more low output than that fight with grappling mixed in, and that's where Patchy Mix will thrive. So I'm going to say, like I said, Patchy Mix mixes up that guillotine, countering wrestling, and gets the submission in round 2 or round 3. But yeah, man, I think Patchy Mix wins that fight. All right, headlining the early dude, I can't fucking wait for this fight, man. If you're not excited for this fight, you're a fucking casual, kid, because Macy Chaisson is going to win this fight by decision, potentially by TKO, and then she's headlining the White House card, like I said in my video. This is all part of the storyline, dude. It's all part of the storyline, dude. It is what it is. Macy Chaisson is not losing to fucking Yana Kunitskaya, dude. You can change your name to Yana Santos. I don't give a fuck. You will always be known as the women's bantamweight jobber to me. Yana Santos is who we give you when you're a top 5 women's bantamweight fighter. We want to get you on the title path, and you're coming off a close loss or something like that. Let me just throw fucking Yana Santos at you, dog. That's basically what it is. So I'm not going to overthink this. I'm not going to break down the fucking X's and O's. I'm not going to bring out the, oh my days, Yana Santos. The way that she mixes up the clinch and the body lock. Oh my God. I'm not going to fucking waste your time. Macy Chaisson's going to win. She's probably going to outstrike her on the feet with her jab and her long range weapons. She can out-grapple her. She has nasty submission. She's aggressive. Yeah, my early prelim picks, I got Macy Chaisson. I got Patchy Mix. I got Punahele Soriano. I got Vanderford. And I got Veronica Hardy. Let's move on to the actual prelims. First fight of the prelims. I'm actually really, really excited for Daniel Santos versus Juang. Okay, Juang, yo, Squid Game. Bro, I'm telling you, you know what, dude? Fuck it. Yes, you are winning this fight. You is winning this fight. I'm going to pick you to win this fight. I'm going to say you wins by decision, dude. Now, I think this is going to be a fucking scrap. I think this is going to be a bit of a war. I think that Daniel Santos is going to have moments. I think that Juang is going to have great moments as well. I think the biggest thing that will be the difference is who does more damage. Because watching some tape on both of these guys and just thinking about the way that they fight, I think that Santos will out-wrestle and, out-grapple you in moments, but not as significantly as maybe people would expect. And on the feet, I feel like Juang is such a good counter-striker and just so awkward to deal with, the way that he keeps his hands down and puts his chin back and just kind of avoids things. It looks very dangerous, but I feel like it will work against a shooter box blockhead, which is what Daniel Santos is, who does get rocked and does get tagged, especially early on in a lot of his fights. and then kind of builds his way back in with his grappling. And I think it's going to look similar in this fight, but I can see moments in every single round starting off on the feet, and once you know, gets back up to his feet or defends a takedown and gets back out in the open, where he hurts Daniel Santos, damages him, counters, you know, the blitz that he uses and the lack of head movement that he has, and just slides out of range or just backs up to the fence and then uses the fence to defend takedowns, which he is very good at. If you've watched some of his other fights where people were trying really hard to take him down, he does have good takedown defense against the fence. I think out in the open, Santos will do a better job of countering the sprawl, turning the corner, getting on the back, you know, trying to control him. I can see you like getting his back taken, but then Santos jumps on him and goes really high, and you shakes him off, starts landing some ground and pound, stands him back up. I think up against the fence, Juso Yang will do a good job defending, but then Santos will kind of, you know, use explosiveness and physicality and chain takedowns early on and start to get takedowns, but you will be calm. He'll pull himself back to the fence. He'll get back up, and Santos will be the one working a lot harder in this fight. I think being the, you know, the shorter man, in terms of the reach, like obviously they're the same height, but I think the reach disadvantage and the fighting style of Juso Yang will make him a little bit longer and harder to hit. So Santos will be higher output. He'll have to use a lot of physicality. He'll have to explode to get into range and get those takedowns or land big shots. I think Juso Yang is going to pick at him at range, defend the grappling a lot better than people expect. And out in the open, I think that you will land big counters on the back foot. I feel like in the first round, there will be a head kick early that hurts Santos. I can see on the back foot in round 2 and 3, like an uppercut or a left hook, like he did against fucking Jeka Sergi. Literally flatlined bro with one punch. Not even a winder, just a little bink. Put him face first out cold, bruh. I know I'm describing this guy with the utmost glaze, but I'm sorry. I'm picking Juso Yang to win this fight by damage-based decision. Hurting Santos on the back foot, doing a good job to defend takedowns up against the fence or get back up from really explosive, high energy usage takedowns from Santos, and just damage him in close with elbows when he's defending those takedowns, get back out in the open, land head kicks, leg kicks, uppercuts, the check hook on the back foot, the right hand down the middle. Santos and the whole shooter box team, we know this. The defense is not what they're worried about. They're coming to walk right through you with their chin out, with their fucking hands up, their chin down. The blockhead's not moving. I think Juso Yang wins this fight by decision, but I could see this being a very close and competitive fight. I think it'll be super entertaining, okay? Speaking of which, dude, oh my days, Farid Basharat, this guy, oh my days, he's a future bloody champion. I fucking hate this fight, dude. I'm just gonna say it like it is, man. I fucking hate this matchup. I hate this fight. These are two of the biggest split decision, I'll just do enough to win the round merchants in the UFC. One of them is glazed to hell. People talk about the Basharat brothers like they're the fucking Shogun and Ninja Hua or some shit. Or they talk about them like they're fucking, you know, Nick and Nate Diaz, the bantamweight division. Dude, the Basharat brothers, man. And Gutierrez, you know, people have kind of lost the hype train on him. I remember people glazing the fuck out of this guy when he fluked a knockout over Frankie Edgar when he was like 40 years old. I remember being like, I can't wait to watch this guy lose to someone that's not a midget. And in this fight, I think he's going to lose to this midget right in front of him, Farid Basharat. I just think that Gutierrez is so low output. Like, he just doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything with the hands. He's just there to throw leg kicks. And we've seen that if you can check leg kicks and box with him, and especially if you can do those things and also shoot a takedown, you can just take him down and hold him down. He's not going to get back up. He's going to fucking flick his little heel in your butt. He's going to fucking slap your ear on bottom. Like, he does nothing off his back. He's a Factory X NPC. He's just going to flick leg kicks and body kicks at range. Mark Montoya is going to get in there. We got to look for damage. We got to look for damage. We're looking for damaging shots. We're looking for kill shots. And then bro's just going to switch stances at range, throw some fucking leg kicks, get taken down, and lose by decision. I think that Farid Basharat, he's not necessarily this fucking game-changing fighter either, but he's just a little bit more output. Like, he's just a little bit, you know, more skillful in terms of that tit for tat. I'll throw a jab, I'll check, I'll land a body kick, I'll feint a spinning back kick. I'll do something, you know what I mean? And he will mix in a takedown. He will get a hold of him, get to the body lock, knee the thighs. He'll do what he needs to do to win by 29-28 decision. That is what he does. So I'm going to say Farid Basharat just out-grapples Chris Gutierrez, wins by decision. Maybe he gets a submission if Chris Gutierrez shits the bed, but I think this will be a very boring 29-28. Fuck it. We'll just give it to Farid Basharat type of decision. Both of these guys do not fight to like knock their opponent out. They're just doing like just enough. So yeah, I think Farid Basharat will win that fight. All right. Next fight of the night, we've got Edmund Shahbazyan versus Andre Muniz. I'm going to very, very hesitantly pick Edmund Shahbazyan by round 1 knockout. I do think he wins this fight. Like I know that I'm just overthinking this because I'm me. And every single matchup, I'm like, I don't know, man. I could see it go. You know what I mean? I know that that's what I do. I know that's part of the appeal. That's what you guys love about me so much. You guys are all huge fans of me. I get 0 hate comments, and people love when I fence sit prelim matchups that no one cares about. But I'm not going to overthink this. I'm going to say Edmund Shahbazyan wins this fight because he is a better striker. He's quicker. He's way faster on the feet. He's got more power. He's a way better striker, especially early on. And Muniz is getting older. He's getting finished by fucking glancing jabs from Ikram Aliskerov. He got TKO'd by Paul Craig. I'm having a really hard time picturing him winning this fight. The only problem is, and we talk about this every time on the channel, you guys know how it goes with Shahbazyan. He's either winning by round 1 masterclass or he's getting submitted in round 3. Like this guy should be thanking his lucky fucking ginger stars that he's not a welterweight. Because I know for a fact that Shahbazyan is a Neil Magny victim, bro. Am I wrong that Edmund Shahbazyan is a peak Neil Magny victim who would like destroy Neil Magny for a round and a half and then gas out and get fucking pile drived and submitted like my boy Jake Matthews, dude? That is literally what Shahbazyan does every single fight. In this fight, there is obviously a threat of Andre Muniz using his grappling and slowing down Edmund Shahbazyan. And if it gets to that 3rd round, I do think Muniz can turn up the pressure. We saw against Junyoung Park, he was able to really pick up his output with his grappling and win that fight by split decision. So there is a possibility here for that. I'm not a 110% bro. Shahbazyan smokes this guy. I'm just going to say like Shahbazyan's really good in round 1 and Andre Muniz has slowed down. He's gotten kind of old. His striking is just not that good. He's getting finished by fucking jabs. Like I said, Aliskerov, really the first actual strike that Aliskerov landed in that fight put him away. So I don't think that Muniz is going to go out there just spamming takedowns. And I think even if he shoots takedowns, round 1 Shahbazyan does have good grappling. He can defend takedowns. He can keep it standing with Jack Hermanson and Derek Brunson and guys like that. So I trust against Muniz in round 1. Shahbazyan will defend the takedowns. He'll threaten guillotines. Maybe he'll just stand him back up, blast body kicks, drop the hands, and then shoot a big straight punch down the middle. Drop Muniz bad, follow up, get a finish. That's kind of what I envision. I think Shahbazyan will invest in the body early. Muniz will try and catch one of the kicks and get a takedown. Shahbazyan will do a really good job defending. Or if he gets taken down, he'll get back up and he'll fix his hair a little bit. And then he'll blast Muniz to the body and then mix something up, hit him up top, and get the finish. Follow up, ground and pound. I think that's kind of what I envision is just something straight down the pipe, drops him, gets the finish following up. So Edmund Shahbazyan, round 1, knockout or bust. If it gets to round 3, change my prediction officially. And I'm talking to all these fucking... Like, why do I get tagged? Dude, this thing pisses me off. I know my prediction rate is actually not that bad. I think I'm at like 67% or something along those lines. But, dude, there's nothing worse than watching Dominic Reyes get fucking slept out. I literally lost the fight on the weekend. The same weekend that Reyes fought. I lost by split decision. I'm telling you, I literally felt more pain watching Reyes lose than losing myself, dude. And there's nothing worse than watching Reyes lose and then I get tagged in these YouTube channels. What's up, guys? We're going to be cracking the worst predictors on YouTube. Bedtime MMA, this fucking moron picked Dominic Reyes. Like, thanks, guys. That's exactly what I want to hear, okay? But yeah, I don't know how I ended up on that tangent, but Edmund Shahbazyan will be winning this fight, okay, dude? Headlining the prelims, I know that this fight got cancelled before some fucking nerd.
Bro literally doesn't know anything about the sport, bro.
I know it got cancelled, okay? But I think the UFC wants to keep Atiba Gautier on this card. So I'm sure they're going to get a short notice replacement. And I'll say that if it's someone decent, that's obviously brought in to lose to Gautier. Like, let's make it clear. They're not going to bring in someone to beat Gautier. Like, I don't expect them to bring in somebody crazy good. I expect them to bring in someone like some random LFA-generated career mode character that you fight in UFC 5. If they bring in a fucking LFA jobber, give me Gautier by round 1 knockout inside of like 2 minutes. But I think it would be cool, and this is what I'll say. Basically, if it's someone decent, I'll say Gautier wins by round 2 knockout. Like somehow they make it to round 2. And now it's gonna get interesting. He's looking tight. Oh, never mind. He's out cold. Like that's what I think happens if they bring in someone decent. But man, it would be really fucking cool and kind of hype if they just, instead of this no-risk matchmaking of fucking Oswald Diaz versus Atiba Gautier, imagine they brought in Cam Rouston. Or they brought in fucking Suzakayev versus Gautier. That would actually be more intriguing than Joe Pyfer versus Magomedov. I would rather see Suzakayev versus Gautier on the main card if they could put that fight together. That would be a sick fucking matchup. I'd be like, bro, I don't know who's gonna win. Probably Gautier by round 1 knockout. But even then, I don't know. That's a sick fight. A man can dream. They're probably gonna just bring in some random fucking blob from LFA. Like I said, maybe they just bring in, Cedricus Dumas and just get him chinned again. Whatever it is. But I think Gautier will win his replacement fight. That's my prediction if he gets another matchup, okay? My picks for the prelims, again, Gautier, Shahbazyan, Basharat, and Juso Yang, all right? Now we move to the main card. First fight of the night, we've got Abus Magomedov versus Big Salty Joe Pyfer. I'm going to pick Joe Pyfer to win this fight. I'm going to say he wins by unanimous decision, 29-28. He wins the last 2 rounds of this. The first and third round of this fight. That's what I'll say. I'll say Joe Pyfer wins first and third of this fight. Because both of these guys have the same problem. They're really dangerous early on, and then they slow down in round 3. But I feel like Magomedov, yes, he is a little bit more technical on the feet. He's got a lot better kicking game. He has really good front kicks. He has a nice jab. We've seen him mix in his grappling in some recent fights against Bruno Ferreira. That was a pretty impressive come from behind win. But Joe Pyfer is a good grappler as well. And they both slow down as the fight goes on. But I would say Joe Pyfer's a little bit better at gritting down and doing enough to win. Like, not looking as visibly gassed. Like, he's still willing to swing big shots and land his jab, land little pot shots, land a leg kick, mix in a takedown. Joe Pyfer seems a little bit more able to push himself when he slows down, when he loses a bit of that pop in round 3. Whereas Magomedov, I feel like it's so obvious as soon as he's fucking tired, right? Like against Michel Pereira, pretty low output fight, you can still see him slow down in round 3. Against Strickland, he has a fucking cardiac arrest in the octagon, like he's Shamil Gaziev out there. So I think that even though Joe Pyfer, people are going, oh, he lost to, Jack Hermanson. I still feel like he won 2 of those first 3 rounds of that fight. You know what I mean? Like, if that was a 3-round fight, he wins that 29-28. No one ever says Joe Pyfer got fraud checked, right? It was because it was a 5-round fight. And even then, it was a 48-47. So I'm guilty of that mistake myself. Now going into this fight and seeing the Kelvin Gastelum fight, I think that Joe Pyfer is going to be totally capable of winning a 3-round fight and being able to secure that 3rd round. When the first 2 are kind of competitive, I think that Abus Magomedov will at least win 1 round of this fight with his front kicks, just avoiding the big left hand of Joe Pyfer, teeping at the legs, flicking out the front kick to the body, using his jab, just avoiding, maybe mixing in some takedowns, some clinch of his own. I think that Joe Pyfer will still be able, throughout the fight, to land big shots consistently, score big damaging shots, have big moments, you know, mix in his grappling. I think he's going to be able to defend takedowns or get takedowns if he needs to, just based on physicality. And he is actually a very solid grappler who trains with Sean Brady and those guys down in the Salties platoon in fucking New Jersey. So Joe Pyfer is not to be slept on, dude. I mean Philadelphia, not New Jersey. My apologies. I'm going to get slept for that. But regardless, you know what I'm trying to say. Joe Pyfer is well-rounded. He has big power. He has a damage and power advantage. He's quick and powerful early on. Very, very solid, underrated grappling and takedown defense. He has a good chin, and he has the ability that Abus Magomedov does not have to push through being tired. That, to me, is the biggest difference. When Abus is tired, you know, you get this boost of energy like, bro, he's fucking cooked. He's standing there. He looks sleepy. Joe Pyfer is actually able to push himself and still land big shots and just do enough to win. So I'm going to say Joe Pyfer wins this fight by 29-28 decision with some big damaging moments, out grapples Abus Magomedov in moments if he needs to, or just defends the grappling, keeps it standing. Whatever he needs to do, I think he's just a bit more capable of that in a 3-round fight, especially if he's the one pushing the pace. So that's my prediction, all right? Next fight of the night, we've got Josh Emmett versus Yusuf Bilal, bro. I really want to pick Josh Emmett to win this fight, but I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna play it safe, dude. I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna pick fucking Yusuf Zalal to win this fight. And it pains me to pick Yusuf Zalal because he fought like such a... I thought maybe I was just exaggerating it in my mind. I'm like, man, maybe I'm misremembering this guy. Maybe I'm just hating on this guy in the moment. Like, maybe I picked Calvin Kattar. I didn't pick Calvin Kattar to beat him. Okay, I picked Yusuf Zalal to win that fight, and I rewatched it, and I can say with 110% certainty, Yusuf Zalal fought like such a fucking bitch in that fight against Calvin Kattar. There is no other way to say it, man. That guy literally was running for his life from Calvin Kattar. And that obviously, when I watched that, I'm thinking, bro, Josh Emmett is going to find you, little bro. Like, bro, Josh Emmett is coming to get you, dog. I think Yusuf Zalal is going to do just enough to win this fight, but fuck me, man. I hope he gets booed out of the building, because I feel like he's literally going to just jab and run the entire fight. And the only reason I think he'll be able to do that to Josh Emmett is because Josh Emmett is not known for his elite footwork. He doesn't cut people off extremely well. He will just follow you around, blitz into you. The one thing that Josh Emmett has going for him that Calvin Kattar absolutely didn't have is two things, actually. Number one, Calvin Kattar just stands around at range for 2 rounds every fight now. Like, Calvin Kattar back in the day is one thing, but right now in 2025, all Calvin Kattar fucking does is just stand around at range with his new haircut. Just fucking feinting, you know, faking, you know, ooh, what's he gonna do? He's flicking the jab. He's gonna find him. And then in round 3, he starts actually trying to strike. That's number one. Josh Emmett will actually track you down. When he pins you against the fence, he will actually strike. And Yusuf Zalal puts himself up against the fence a lot. And that will be something that Josh Emmett will capitalize on with body shots, with big hooks up top. I don't know if they'll be clean enough or consistent enough to really win the fight. That's one reason I think Yusuf Zalal will escape with his soul from fighting the fucking Grim Reaper Josh Emmett. But also, I think Josh Emmett has a decent chance in this matchup because he does mix in wrestling really, really well. He was able to take down he fucking hit Lerone Murphy with like a Batista spine buster, bruh. He threw Lerone Murphy up in the air and fucking dropped him on his head. So Josh Emmett will mix in the grappling if he needs to. He will defend the grappling really, really well because Yusuf Zalal, one of his biggest weapons is his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu. That will not be a factor in this matchup. Josh Emmett does have very good takedown defense. He's a brick wall. He's a little fucking bowl of roids. And he's coming to drop a fucking nuke on your chin. I don't think it's going to happen in this fight. As much as I'm praying and I'm hoping and I'm begging for Josh Emmett to just nuke this fucking guy and just put this little fucking midget away for good and just follow up with a fucking H-bomb at the end as well. I think that Yusuf Zalal is going to stick and move. He's going to jab. He's going to run on the back foot. He's going to back himself up against the fence. Josh Emmett tries to hit him. It's mainly hitting the guard. Yusuf Zalal's moving his head. He's darting out of range. Josh Emmett mixes in some takedowns, but it's not really enough to win the fight by decision. So I'll say that Yusuf Zalal has more output, does a little bit more damage consistently over the fight with the jab, following up with a right hand, flicking out some kicks as well. Backs himself up to the fence, does a good job to defend takedowns or to get back up from takedowns. Josh Emmett, has some moments here and there. Maybe he has a little wobble in round 1 or round 3 or something like that. But I think Yusuf Zalal will just be a little bit more outgoing with his output and just be really hard to pin down and track you. I think you need someone that has really good footwork that will circle you into a big shot or cut you off, and not someone like Josh Emmett that's going to wait for you to run into a big shot, or that's someone that's going to get in the pocket with you and then try and find the big shot. I don't think that works against Yusuf Zalal the way that he fought his last fight, and I'm assuming that's how he's going to fight Josh Emmett unless he wants to get flatlined out cold. So I'll say Yusuf Zalal, unfortunately, jabs, runs, and wins by boring 29-28 decision. Like I said, I pray this man gets booed out of the building or flatlined. That's the only outcomes I can accept, all right? Let's talk about the featured fight of the night, and I believe this will be the best fight on the card in terms of entertainment. Yuri Prochazka versus Khalil Rountree. I'm picking Yuri Prochazka, bro. Let's go for that. And once we win this fight, I'm gonna bring crazy guys from my village to my hotel. Let's go for that. Yuri Prochazka's winning this fucking fight, dude. I'm gonna be shitting bricks, though. I make no mistake whatsoever. I'm not shitting on Khalil here. Khalil, put the Kleenex away. I'm not hating on you, bro. I'm going to be nervous for Yuri Prochazka. I think both of these guys will land at least one knockdown in this fight. I think this is gonna be a fucking scrap. And I think that a high-paced scrap favors Yuri Prochazka very, very much. I don't think Khalil is going to get off being technical and trying to point fight against Yuri. That's not going to be allowed. If he's doing good at that, Yuri's going to force him into a brawl and he's going to get crazy with him, and Khalil's going to slow down unless he just flatlines Yuri, which I don't see happening. The only person that's done it is, Alex Pereira. And I think that if Khalil decides to get big and scrappy with him, again, I think Yuri wins that type of fight and finishes Khalil Rountree. So I'm going to say Yuri Prochazka wins by round 2 knockout, but he has a very shaky early first round. I think Khalil's going to be a lot more quick on the feet. I think he's going to be a lot more snappy than someone like Jamahal Hill. But I also think in this matchup where he will be swinging really big and maybe missing more than he expects to, and also, being countered and being pressured with front kicks to the body and with someone in his face kind of nodding at him, moving his head, doing weird shit, frustrating him, I think he will get more fatigued like we saw in the Alex Pereira fight. And I think he'll start to swing big to try and follow up on Yuri or hit him when he does things that seem wrong, and start to slow down a bit, get a little bit frustrated. And like I said, especially with Yuri Prochazka in front of you, mixing in front kicks, stabbing to the body, making you miss, boom, straight right down the middle, right? We saw Yuri Prochazka do a really good job of countering Jamahal Hill with that slip, boom, straight punch. Then I step off and I cut an angle. And he was really starting to frustrate him with his movement and his head movement. Really made him miss a lot more than he expected to. He did get hit with a lot of body shots that seemed to bother him. I think Khalil will do good to attack the body in this fight. I think Khalil will start out patient, looking for leg kicks and those body shots that we saw affect Yuri against Alex Pereira and against Jamahal Hill. But I think Yuri will start to counter the overhand left of Khalil with a straight punch down the middle. We saw against Alex Pereira, even really early on in the round that Khalil did, Khalil was beating Pereira, literally won one round of that fight. Yuri literally rocked Alex Pereira, took him down, did just as good, had an early stoppage against him in the first fight. Khalil Rountree gets glazed to shit for getting the shit beat out of him for 2 rounds by Alex. But he did well against Alex. But what I'm saying is he did get countered a lot with straight rights down the middle, trying to bomb that overhand. It doesn't matter how quick and explosive you are. I still think Khalil Rountree's boxing is not actually that good. I think his best weapon is those leg kicks and, the oblique kicks and the elbows in close. But I think he's going to get countered with straight punches. I think Yuri's going to start looking for head kicks, looking for that spinning back fist when he misses the head kick, stabbing to the body with the front kick, slip big shots from Khalil. in close, really start to damage him with big right hands, maybe land a big elbow in close as well. We've seen Khalil be susceptible to those against fucking Johnny Walker. I will say this, I do think Yuri Prochazka will go down at some point in this fight. This is what I envision very clearly, and I feel like I'm a fucking genius when it comes to little sequences like this. I think Yuri Prochazka in the first round is going to go for a body kick way too close, and Khalil's just going to step in and bomb a right hand, and Yuri's going to have like a flash knockdown. I think Khalil is really, really good at timing. When someone comes in for a kick, he's really good at timing them with punches. We saw it against Gokhan Saki when he got that knockout. We saw it against Jamahal Hill. We saw it against Alex Pereira. But he also does get countered a lot once he starts having success in the boxing and someone starts to make him miss. They can start to counter him and really turn the tides against him. So I think that's what's going to happen in this fight. I think Khalil starts out patient, bombs Yuri with a fucking right hand as he's going for a body kick, you know, doing well. But then Yuri kind of locks in. He brings the fucking storm. He's fucking moving it and let's go for that. You know, throwing sand, bringing the storm, you know, using his university, you know, teachings. I think he's going to start to counter Khalil, move his head while also pressuring him, touching him to the body, and I think he's going to counter a big miss from Khalil and rock him really bad. And I think we're going to get a classic Yuri finish where his opponent is trying to run away from him, but they're on fucking jelly legs, and Yuri Prochazka just throws them on the ground and just starts beating the fuck out of him. I see Yuri dropping big elbows that really damage Khalil and open up that cut on his nose. So that's what I'm going to say happens. I think Khalil wins the first round. He drops Yuri, but then Yuri Prochazka builds into the fight, starts to make him miss, counters with the straight right down the middle, follows up with that left hook. Khalil ends up on jelly legs. Yuri's following him, drops him to the ground. Big elbows really start to make Khalil bleed, and Yuri gets the finish by TKO. And we will be fighting Big Ank for the title next. Yuri Prochazka by knockout in round 2. If he gets fucking flatlined by Khalil, don't come to school tomorrow, bro. I'm literally dropping Kanye Never See Me Again type shit if I have to watch Dominic Reyes and Yuri Prochazka get slept back to back. I can't do it, bro. I can't fucking do it. People are messaging me like, yo, Bedtime, what do you do if JDM loses? I'm not making it to JDM losing if I have to see Olberg and Khalil sleep my boys, Dominic Reyes and Yuri Prochazka. So Yuri, I think he's going to win this fight on a technical basis, but I'm also rooting for him heavily. If he loses, I'll be very, very upset. All right. Co-main event of the evening. We've got Merab versus... Dude, I don't know, man. I got a feeling about Corey, dude. Bro, listen. I'm not gonna lie, man. You guys know I made that video saying Merab's gonna fucking destroy Corey Sandhagen. I think this is like a fake hardcore matchup where it's kind of like Pantoja versus Kaikara France, where it's like, yes, obviously Corey Sandhagen's gonna do better in the grappling than fucking Sean O'Malley. Like, oh, dude, I don't know, man. Corey Sandhagen, maybe he's got something there. But I think just honestly, when you step back, it's like this guy lost to Umar. He lost to Aljo. You know, he's getting taken down by fucking Figueiredo in his last fight. I just think Merab is going to beat Corey Sandhagen. I think this is like a GSP versus Condit type matchup in my head. I'm going to say Merab wins by 49-46 decision. I think Corey Sandhagen will have little moments of success in this fight. I think compared to Umar, and I will give Corey Sandhagen his props, okay? I don't think he's going to have better takedown defense than Umar. I don't think he's going to get offensive takedowns better than Umar, but I think he's going to be a little bit more willing to get in a fucking dogfight. I think Corey Sandhagen is a little bit more prepared as a man to get in a fight where he's not just winning the entire time. I think one thing about Umar and O'Malley is they are not built for a war. They're not built for someone in their face, smiling on them, emoting on them, you know, pointing at them, you know, laughing at them. I think Corey Sandhagen is a lot more used to and a lot more prepared to not have things go his way. And I think that's a good thing for him. I think he's going to get scrappy, try and get in a dogfight. I think he's going to be willing to exchange with Merab and match his energy. Rather than just trying to avoid him and just pick at him and just, oh man, if I just keep him at the end of my range, maybe I can rock him and get a finish and I don't have to go to round 4. You know what I mean? I think Corey Sandhagen wants the challenge of going 5 rounds against Merab. And I think he's going to be willing to try everything. I think he's going to mix in his own takedown attempts. I think off his back, he's going to try and throw up submissions. I think on the feet, he's going to be blasting inside leg kicks. I don't think he's going to, freeze up his kicking game just because of what Merab's good at. I think he's going to just try and do his own thing of just like big head kicks, leg kicks, And when he's southpaw as well, I talked about this in that video as well. When Corey Sandhagen goes southpaw, I think Merab will have a little bit harder of a time taking him down. We've seen Merab kind of lower his output when someone's southpaw, right? Because as a wrestler, you guys, if you train, when someone's orthodox, you're kind of used to how it looks to take them down. Like, where their hips are, where their legs are. When they go southpaw, it is kind of different. Like, it is a little bit more thinking involved of like, man, do I want single? Do I want to... You know what I mean? It's just a little bit different. It's not like impossible, but it's just a little bit weirder. So I think for Merab, there will be some tricky moments. Like, I'll say this. I think Corey Sandhagen will drop him with a head kick or rock him with a head kick or some shit like that, just because this gives me so much GSP Condit vibes. But I think Merab has actually improved his striking a lot, and he's actually really hard to hit. He has better significant strike defense than Corey Sandhagen. And I think people have started to notice this, but Merab looks goofy as fuck on the feet, but he's actually kind of hard to rock, kind of hard to hit, and he does manage distance and avoid big shots pretty well. He gets into an exchange, he lands what he wants to land, or he realizes that he's not going to land, and then he jumps out of range and he emotes on you, and you can't really hit him back. You have to go get him, and then boom, he shoots a takedown. And I think that will fuck with Corey Sandhagen. I think Merab will primarily strike in this fight with no problem. And then when a takedown is there, he'll just go and grab it whenever he wants. I think that the single leg will be there for him whenever he wants. Corey Sandhagen was getting taken down in his last fucking fight, dude. People point to the Umar fight like, oh man, Corey did such a good job. Bro, he did a good job surviving. Like, he still got taken down. He still got his back controlled. Against Figueiredo, every time Figgy shot, Corey shoots an uppercut, he posts on the head, and then he gets dumped with a single leg. And Merab's not going to jump on his back and fall off, or Merab's not going to roll for a fucking leg. Merab's going to stay on top of him, or go around to the back and then dump him again when Corey gets back up. I think Merab is going to be able to out-scramble Corey a lot better than maybe people expect. I think his jiu-jitsu is very underrated. I think he's going to dump Corey Sandhagen with the single leg. And I think that Corey Sandhagen will come out aggressive with leg kicks, head kicks, look for the jumping knee from southpaw, something like that. But I think every single round, Merab will, deal with that shit, jump out of range, not really be there, emote a little bit. Corey Sandhagen gets aggressive. Boom, Merab gets on that single, takes him down, controls him. And, Corey's looking for elbows off his back. He's looking for submissions. He gets back up for a second. Boom, Merab drags him back down. I just think Corey Sandhagen's going to lose majority of this fight. Like, he'll have little moments here and there, but for the most part, he will just be not really able to land any big kill shots on Merab. He'll slow down just a little bit from trying really hard to get back up, or, trying not to panic on the bottom will waste him time, and then he'll try and land elbows and do damage. I just don't see Sandhagen winning this fight. I think that he's going to, maybe hurt Merab at some point with a big flying knee from southpaw. Maybe he jumps a big flying knee, the crowd goes crazy, Corey goes for a submission, then he ends up on the bottom. And he's looking for a leg, or he's looking for something like that. Merab just kind of scrambles with it, gets on top, lands some punches, emotes on him. When they get back up, Merab kind of lands the big right hand as Corey's going for leg kicks. We saw Figueiredo land that a lot as well. And I think that Merab's just going to do more and just do better and just out-grapple him and low-key outbox him. And I think he's going to win this fight by 49-46, clear decision win. I'm happy for I want Sandhagen to win this fight. Like, I don't even hate Merab. Like, I'm not even a Merab. Make no mistake, I was praying every night to the Lord himself for Sean O'Malley to fucking flatline this kid. Make no mistake, me and Schmidt were on COD, fucking Warzone, dude. Me and Schmidt, dude, we were drinking THC, plotting on Merab's downfall in the Georgians. But now I kind of like Merab. But it would be cool to see Corey Sandhagen win. And I think sometimes people buy into those narratives and they kind of convince themselves like, I don't know, man, there could be something. I just think Merab is going to out-grapple Corey Sandhagen with the wrestling, with the cardio. He's going to use the takedown threat to land the big right hand. And Corey's going to try and emote on him and try and match his energy, but he's just not going to be able to do enough to out-damage Merab, and I don't think he finishes him. So I'm going to say Merab wins by clear decision win and retains his belt, dude. I think the only person that could beat Merab is genuinely Umnar, dude. Main event, we've got Big Ank versus Alex Pereira 2, and you guys know my pick for this, but I'm going to spell it out for you. I am picking Big Ank to retain his belt and win the rivalry. I think Big Ank's going to win by TKO, dude. What the fuck is Alex Pereira actually doing? Like, Alex Pereira, I don't know what this guy's doing, man, but I just feel like he has no idea why he lost that fight. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like when I listen to him in interviews and on Countdown and things like that, and I will talk about the technical aspects of this matchup as well, but just on an outside looking in perspective, when you just, what do I feel about this fight? He's 38 years old. He looked bad in the last fight. Like, he really didn't really do any damage. Like, he had big moments, and the crowd obviously is cheering for him. And obviously, most MMA fans are biased towards Alex Pereira. They fucking hate Ankalaev. So, of course, they're all looking at everything he does, and they're saying he won the fight. He didn't win the fight. He lost 49-46. But when I look at this fight, what does Alex Pereira actually change or improve upon from that first fight, which was like 6 months ago? He got outboxed. Let's just say it like it is. Magomed Ankalaev outboxed him. He got held against the fence in the clinch. He couldn't really get his back off the cage. He had minimal success in terms of his ability to actually hurt Ankalaev. He landed a couple of good, kicks to the body, a couple of head kicks on the guard that got through. Didn't really rock Ankalaev. A lot of leg kicks, got checked a bunch as well, but didn't hurt Ankalaev to the legs like he thought he would. And he just got pushed back the entire fight and rocked on the feet. That was the most significant moment. And now we go into a rematch where you're older, and all I see in the training and all I see in his discussions of the fight is, this guy did nothing towards me. This guy did no damage, blah, 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 blah. He just tried to hug me. And all I see is him training grappling. That, like, I'm not even going to talk about the weird negotiation issues going into this and how he was, kind of baiting, like, I don't even know if I want to fight anymore, blah, 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 blah. I feel like I got robbed, blah, blah. And then now he accepts it, he's only clips that I see of this guy, he's training grappling. Hey, buddy, you defended every fucking takedown. Alex Pereira did a great job, better than anyone expected, of defending the takedowns of Magomed Ankalaev. Even when Ankalaev would mix them up during striking exchanges, he did a great job of defending those takedowns, controlling the wrists, getting back out in the open. In moments, sometimes he did just get stuck against the fence, and that was another reason why Ankalaev was able to beat him. He was even able to take down Ankalaev with little foot sweeps, dude. Those were good. I think the biggest weaknesses in his game that got exposed by Ankalaev, and that will be there against Ankalaev again, is his boxing defense. He just pulls back with his fucking arms out and his chin up, just getting pinged around with the left hand from Magomed Ankalaev. The front kicks to the body, and the punches and the jabs to the body as well. Those were big scoring shots that pushed Pereira back and kind of put him on the back foot permanently. When we saw against Khalil, he got hurt to the body a couple of times. I think Pereira got stung a little bit by some jabs and by some body shots from Ankalaev in their first fight as well. And the clinch, right? Every close round that people have an argument for, I don't know, I feel like Pereira won this fight on damage. You can point to the fact that the significant strike numbers are neck and neck, but in all of these rounds, Ankalaev gets a hold of Pereira against the fence, knees him to the body, punches him in the face, knees him in the thigh, controls him, and keeps him controlled against the fence. And the biggest moment of the entire fight is Ankalaev rocking you with that straight left at the end of the second round. So for me, I feel like this is always going to be a tough fight for Pereira, regardless of what he changes, regardless of what he did in the first fight, whether he was injured or sick or blind or whatever the fuck he said. I think regardless of what you think of Pereira, if you don't like him, you hate Ankalaev, you love Ankalaev, this is always going to be a really hard fight for Pereira, just being objective. You're dealing with a big, explosive, really quick in the hands, powerful southpaw that's going to be able to outbox you, that's quicker than you on the feet in terms of the hand speed, has very, very good defense, extremely hard to hit, great counter striking, great striking defense overall. Honestly, better boxing defense than Alex Pereira. Great checking of leg kicks. He was able to land his own leg kicks against Pereira, who doesn't really check that much unless you're Izzy and he fucking hates you. And I feel like Alex Pereira, there's only so much he can change going into this fight. If I'm predicting what he'll do, I think he'll come in with less kicks and not really worry about hurting Ankalaev with leg kicks this time. I think he's going to come in looking for bigger punches this time. I think he's going to come in a little bit more flat-footed, looking to hurt Ankalaev to the body with punches, looking for the left hook up top, looking for his jab, trying to catch Ankalaev in an exchange. I think that is what he'll come in looking to do. And I can honestly see him looking for his own takedowns or just mixing in the clinch or some shit. Like, I think Pereira's, to me, it just seems like, what do you even change? I think he'll just come in like, fuck it, I'm just going to get in his face and be a little bit more scrappy. And I think he can land big shots early on, but I also think a reason why I'm going to pick Ankalaev to win this fight is that if Alex Pereira opens up more with the hands like he did in the second round, I think he's going to get countered a lot more often by Ankalaev. I think Ankalaev is a very, very elite counter striker with great boxing defense, great leg, checking, great body kick defense, head kick defense. We saw it against Rakic as well. And he does a good job of using his own kicks, front kicks to the body, leg kicks on the inside, head kicks up top to keep your hands up. I think that he's going to be able to handle an aggressive Pereira. Maybe get stung for a second here or there, but he's got nasty counter punches. So I feel like if Pereira gets more aggressive and less kick heavy and more boxing based in his approach, he's going to be opened up to the left hand down the middle coming in. He's going to be opened up to the check hook of Magomedov Ankalaev, the jab of Ankalaev. And I also think that's going to open him up to takedowns. We've seen him get taken down by a lot of UFC fighters at middleweight and at light heavyweight. The biggest example I can think of is against Jan Blachowicz, where he's shooting these hooks and Jan is just ducking underneath them, taking him down with the double leg. He also was able to grab a hold of that single leg in a higher paced fight where Pereira kind of slowed down a little bit. And I think Ankalaev will be able to do the same in this fight. So I think that if Ankalaev deals with a more aggressive Pereira, he'll be able to land bigger counter punches, bigger shots that maybe do more damage, and that could lead to a finish. Or he's going to be able to get those takedowns this time because Pereira will be coming after him with his hips a little bit more square, looking for bigger power punches to get the finish, to do more damage. Because in that first fight, the kicking and moving approach really didn't fucking work. I think if he changes that, it's going to be a bad look for him, dude. Like, I think there's really two outcomes that I see happening, and I think Ankalaev wins both of them. I think it can be another really close fight if Pereira doesn't really change that much, if he just keeps like kicking at range, maybe going a little bit more aggressive with the hands, hoping that he can defend the takedowns again, trusting his takedown defense because it was really good. And it's pretty similar to the first fight, except Ankalaev will be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more confident because he won the first fight. Maybe he gets stung a little bit more clearly by something in the first or second round, but I still think Ankalaev can win a 48-47 decision here. Just being able to outbox him, deal with the leg kicks, mix in the clinch, shoot takedowns, come up top with punches, throw his own body kicks, his own body punches in the left hand down the middle. I think that's always going to be there against him for Pereira. Or if we get a more aggressive Pereira, which I feel like we will get, like a running, jumping side kick to the face, and, Pereira's just standing his ground, he's trying to get in big exchanges, I think Ankalaev will rock him earlier after he gets rocked. I think it'll be a shorter fight. I think it'll be like a 2 or 3 round fight where Pereira comes out super aggressive, he rocks Ankalaev on the back foot, he's kind of going after him, and then Ankalaev on the back foot lands a big left hand that rocks him pretty bad. Or ducks under a left hook, gets a takedown. Everyone's like, oh, fuck, there it is. That's the takedown he was looking for. And that leads to a big shift in momentum, and Ankalaev's able to get like a ground and pound TKO finish. So I'm going to pick Ankalaev to win this fight. Like I said, if Pereira comes out like he did in the first fight, I think it'll be a 48-47 clear unanimous decision win for Ankalaev. But if Pereira comes out more aggressive, I think we're going to see both guys rock each other, but then Ankalaev gets the finish via ground and pound, or he just flat nukes him with a left hand, follows up. That's what I think. So I'm picking Ankalaev to win this fight. I just think he's more well-rounded. I think he's younger. He's got better defense in the boxing. He's a little bit quicker on the feet. He's more fundamentally sound in terms of his offense and his defense. But he has to obviously watch out for the power of Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira's got really good power, really good finishing instincts everywhere. He's got good strength in the grappling in terms of his wrist control. He's patient on the bottom in bad positions. Whereas Ankalaev, if you threaten a submission, he will panic a little bit more. But I think that in this fight, he's going to have confidence. He's going to have the momentum, and he has more options to win this fight. So I'm going to pick Ankalaev to win this fight, and I think that Pereira is going to move up to heavyweight. But hey, man, let me know your predictions in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Bedtime MMA, and I will see you guys in the next video, man. We will not be starting a Charmer chant, but I'll see you there. Goodbye.